So if you're experiencing a complacent feeling of numbed comfort, or side effects of hedonic adaptation, this book is like a cold shower to make you appreciate the modern luxuries that we have surrounding us on any given day. Better than food, man. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Better Than Food Book Reviews. I'm your host, Clifford Lee Sargent. Great to see you as always. Hope you're doing well. Get that coffee. Really quick, I just want to mention I'm in the Leicester Literary Review, edited by Tim Grayson, who is a poet from England, linked below, and produced in partnership with Fox Books. It's a very cool looking shop, also in England. This is the first thing I've ever been published in. It just has my reviews spread out, 5 of them, which is very kind of Tim to put together. So thank you very much, Tim Grayson. I sincerely appreciate it. This is really cool. I never expected the first thing my work would be published in to have such a really striking, gorgeous cover, if I do say so myself. So it's beautiful. There's a link below, and I am really impressed. So if you want to check that out, there you go. Thank you so much. And also, I guess I'm a gun for hire now for publications, so if you want to hire me, then please hit me up via the email below or hit me up on Instagram or whichever you prefer. Okay, so today is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Long time coming on this one. A selection from Oprah's book club. And of course, most of us who are fans of Cormac McCarthy have probably seen the, what is probably now like the legendary interview that he gave on her show, which was really one of the only ones that he gave. So The Road is a dystopian novel published in 2006. It won the Pulitzer that year. It's about the journey taken by this father and son through the new wasteland, set about a year or two, I'm guessing, after the end of the world. Something has happened, whether man-made or natural, we're not sure. And neither are the characters. Nobody really knows what's happened. They can just see the aftermath. Might have been a war, could have been a volcano, maybe an asteroid. We have no clue. We have no clue. I don't know if McCarthy decided. All that's certain is that nearly everyone is dead. And however the catastrophe was delivered had so much heat that it virtually eradicated every living thing and cloaked the whole world, sea, snow, and soil, in a layer of ash. There are no birds, there are no cattle, but there are dogs and humans. Many of those that remain, as you could guess, are only alive because they're dead inside. A large portion of the survivors have resorted to cannibalism and a strange kind of feudal, tribal, cult, gang hierarchy. They hunt in roaming packs throughout the countryside, carrying whatever makeshift weapons they've crafted. Morality was also lost in the fire. And this is the world wherein we find our main characters, the father and the son. We don't know their names. Together on the proverbial road. And if you're gonna be on the road for a long time, you really need stuff that's going to be durable, that's gonna get you through it. Which reminds me that today's video is sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. A wallet tough enough to brave the apocalypse. It occurs to me that all credit card systems may be down for a while, but come on, let's call it a partial apocalypse where you need to get out of one place and go to another where they still have all the systems working, or maybe we'll just call it a catastrophic inconvenience. There is a good chance that this wallet will last through whatever natural or man-made catastrophe that presents itself. I suggest you prepare accordingly. These things are awesome. They are light, sleek, slim, industrial, very easy to use, holds up to 12 cards plus room for cash on the back. No dead piece of skin warping your spine out of alignment. They're meant to go into your front pocket or your side pocket, not your back pocket. Do not sit on these, please. It will not go well. This is the topographic model, one of my favorites. But of course, if you prefer something else, there are over 30 colors and styles to choose from. The durable material means that each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. You can buy this one wallet and carry it for life. And if that's not enough to convince you, please check out their 40,000 5-star reviews. 40,000. In fact, the Rich team is so confident you'll like it, they'll let you test drive it for 45 days. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it, so no problem. They also make these awesome backpacks, which I highly suggest. Get 10% off your order today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/betterthanfood and using the discount code BETTERTHANFOOD. The link is below. Thanks a bunch. The mother killed herself long ago because she saw what was coming. We know the members of the family only in this manner, the father, the son, the mother. The son knows no other world than the one he's being introduced to, than the one he's being shown. The father knows all too well only the world which is splayed out before them as a corpse the size of the earth. The remaining humans show what we are at base level. Desperate, violent apes, basically. Food is all that matters. That's it. They've regressed to these kind of hierarchical death cults. They kill and eat children and infants. The father knows, as did his mother, that if they find the boy, they will rape him and eat him. So she doesn't mince words when justifying her suicide. She tells him exactly why. She says almost that exact thing. I mean, imagine living in that world. This is one of the darkest books I've ever read. It is one of the bleakest books I've ever read. Blood Meridian is one of my favorite books of all time. And I thought that was probably one of the darkest books I've ever read. But then I read this. The frailty of everything revealed at last. So Viggo Mortensen, star of the adaptation of The Road, directed by John Hillcoat, scored by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. Anyways, Viggo Mortensen said that that's the sentence from McCarthy's book that captures what the book and the film is about. That's definitely true. It is about the frailty of everything that we rely on in society here on the earth. What if the foundations were suddenly kicked away by a natural disaster or a war or some apocalypse? What if indeed? And this is the perfect time to read it because obviously we're worried about nuclear war. Never has a book left me with such appreciation for the small things in life. Like, I mean, just like simply a roof over your head, a warm robe. I fucking love my bathrobe after this. This is kind of funny. It's not even like a really nice bathrobe. It's like a $25 bathrobe, but I don't know, I just fucking love that bathrobe. A nice breakfast, your significant other, of course, above all, and a nice cup of coffee. Or, you know, just even food and shoes, you know. Those are the important things McCarthy said in that interview with Oprah. So the father and son are carrying the fire, as they refer to it, which, as Viggo Mortensen said in that interview below, is basically kindness, or, you know, the concept of goodness and morality. The father is protecting the son, who is basically like the last scion of hope and goodness in a world that has all but lost it. It's a scorched earth reset. Yeah, in this era of like all manner of crisis, you know, I don't think there's been a more appropriate time to discuss this book since it was written, honestly, with all the shit we're having to deal with today. My God. Anyways, so bleak as hell. Bleak as hell. And it doesn't really change in tone much, you know? It's pretty much the exact, you know, what you see is what you get here. The first thing that one might notice is the stark Hemingway minimalism of the sentences. Very sparse, very utilitarian, declarative, curt, in an appropriate manner, merciless. They are 20-year-old boots in the dust on the ground base, firmly rooted to the incinerated terrain, and they remain that way throughout the entire thing. He doesn't deviate. The second thing, and perhaps one of the most wonderful, refreshing things about the book, is the dividing of chapters into paragraphs with plenty of white space on the page. Each paragraph acts as a kind of small chapter of varying length. This allows for the reader to miss nothing, and that's essential to the story. I love this structure because it's in a way it's poetic. Like the dialogue, it'll be like a line from the father, and then it just drops and it's a line from the son, then a line from the father, and then a line from the son. You know, so it's not experimental, but it's fluid in a way that really enhances the whole experience. And it's kind of, I don't think I've seen that done before, so it's kind of new. Yeah, I think McCarthy has a real sense for readability. The structure forces you to confront the text, like staring at a human skull in broad daylight. You can't miss it because it won't let you. McCarthy doesn't attack you, but he sure as hell doesn't stutter. Intermittently, we're given like flashbacks, like glimpses of the wife's pregnancy right before the cataclysm hits, before the big event. One very memorable moment is when they're both watching the cities burn from their house, and she's pregnant, and it's just starting, right? And they can see the city burning off in the distance outside, in the darkness out their window. And he just goes into the bathroom and starts filling the tub. And the wife is like, "Why are you taking a bath?" And he replies, "I'm not." The book never says it, but we're plainly able to guess. He's filling the tub for drinking water because he knows this is it. This is the end of the world. That might have been the most disturbing part of the book for me. You could totally see that shit going down. You know? I mean, even if the bomb didn't hit here, it's just a few dominoes to take the whole thing down, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's a brutal, bleak fucking book. And the mother is a very interesting character and a justification for suicide, you know, the way she does it. She's thought about it, right? She's played it through. It seems that there was a period, I'm guessing, where she was with them, and then it was just too much because of what she knew was coming, or what could happen and was likely to happen I have heard just one other woman speak like this in a novel written by a man. The mother's monologue about suicide and her justification for doing so is very reminiscent for me of Faulkner's wise, brutally honest, and death-obsessed matriarch Addie Bundren in As I Lay Dying. Now that's not a surprising homage, but it's a nice one, as McCarthy has taken more from Faulkner perhaps than any other author recognizable in his work. Save for maybe Melville, but I still haven't read Moby Dick. I know. But yeah, this is one of the darkest novels I've ever read. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, like, what can I say? Like, it's even for me, like, you know, like, this kind of depresses me, and I'm fucking, like, I'm king of the depressing books, right? That's my lifeblood, but this one is just, like, it's almost boring in its hopelessness. It's like, well, there goes that. Cormac McCarthy is perhaps the greatest living American author next to Thomas Pynchon, who is even more of a recluse than McCarthy because, well, like McCarthy, he's smart. McCarthy right now is in the ether because later on this year, a couple of books are going to be published by him, and those are the first books we've seen from him in 16 years since this was published. So it's a big deal in the literary world, and I'm sure we're all excited to read them, those of us who are fans of his. And if you're not, well, why not? But yeah, he was born in Providence, Rhode Island, and spent time in all over Loveville, Knoxville, Santa Fe, probably Texas, I feel. He has a kind of Faulknerian Southern Gothic style. His writing style varies from book to book, I think, but it can be either sprawling and poetic or terse and kind of cutting and base. That's very much the style in which this book today is written. However, you can definitely see hints of the kind of Faulkner influence. But yeah, it's a very manly, masculine, Western, old world thing. Very American, very, very mid-20th century American, but with a real deep poetic talent and a serious darkness. And his style is kind of biblical as well. Blood Meridian, which is his magnum opus, is one of the greatest books I've ever read. And Suttree is right up there as well. Really quick, a lot of people send me books. They are not up my alley sometimes, and so I just want, it's nothing against them. I sincerely appreciate it, of course. But if to save people time and money, if you want to send me something that I am absolutely guaranteed to review, and I will happily mention you and thank you by name, there's a link below for my Amazon wishlist store. You don't have to buy the book on Amazon. You can support a small business and you can send it my way. I can't tell you when I'll do it because, I mean, it's the list is enormous at this point, but I will try to get to everything I can, and I will definitely get to everything in the wishlist on Amazon, so thank you so much. Basically, the book is about just how fast the foundation collapses in civilization once the supports are removed. And based on the shit that I have seen in the last 2 years here, especially in Portland, Oregon, and the West Coast in general, yep, I can absolutely believe that it would look something like this. And I'm sure a lot of y'all will think I'm exaggerating. Well, I could tell you some stories another time. But ultimately, the book is about the relationship between fathers and sons, about the need for the father to care for his son, and the meaning that arises from that when there is literally no other meaning to be found left on earth. None. There is nothing. And when I mean nothing, there's like fucking nothing, man. Yeah. So food and shoes are of primary importance, according to McCarthy, in one of the only interviews that he has ever publicly done with Oprah. So if you're experiencing a complacent feeling of numbed comfort, or side effects of hedonic adaptation, this book is like a cold shower to make you appreciate the modern luxuries that we have surrounding us on any given day. It's wonderful. But it's not perfect. Unfortunately, while realistic, the plot does become predictable. They're starving and they have to get some appallingly subpar source of food. They witness increasingly grotesque atrocities perpetrated by the cannibal survivors. Yeah, you get it. It's a novel-length depiction of suffering, deprivation, and desperation. But it has some very, very beautiful lines. I'm gonna read you a bit. 261. The prevailing metaphor is the road, right? Always getting back on the road. He got up and walked out to the road, the black shape of it running from dark to dark. Then a distant, low rumble. Not thunder. You could feel it under your feet. A sound without cognate, and so without description. Something imponderable shifting out there in the dark. The earth itself contracting with the cold. It did not come again. What time of year? What age the child? He walked out into the road and stood. The silence. The saliter drying from the earth. Now that's an interesting word choice. McCarthy's got a hell of a fucking vocabulary. Saliter is, I think it's a 17th century word I found on a thread about its use in this book, of course. It means the essence of God, which is very interesting. So, the saliter drying from the earth. Yeah. The mud-stained shapes of flooded cities burned to the waterline. At a crossroads, a ground set with dolmen stones where the spoken bones of oracles lay moldering. No sound but the wind. What will you say? A living man spoke these lines. He sharpened a quill with his small penknife to scribe these things in slow or lampblack. At some reckonable and entambled moment, he is coming to steal my eyes, to seal my mouth with dirt. And it's not much of a spoiler, but it's a little bit of one, you know. The father in the beginning, close to the beginning, I think, is coughing up blood. He's dying. So there's that to add to the issues they face. And he doesn't know what to do, of course. All he can focus on, aside from getting enough food, is a singular goal. Get to the ocean. For what? He doesn't know. So better than food? Yes, tentative yes, but only because of the certain lines that McCarthy can conjure. The narrative wasn't interesting or developed enough to merit another read. I would not reread it. I'd go for Blood Meridian or Suttree instead. But if you want a quick read and some beautiful lines about a dead world, have at it. Happy Earth Day, by the way. This is a very appropriate choice. As in this book, the Earth is completely gone. So cherish it while we have it. So better than food. Sure, better than food. So you should read it. Fans of Southern Gothic fiction, dystopian fiction, Faulkner, Hemingway, and of course if you enjoyed McCarthy's other books, I think you're gonna love it. So what did I dislike about it? I think, I think this is a subject of much debate, but I'm not really sure. But I thought the ending was a problem. It's basically Deus Ex Machina, which could be a bullshit cop-out. But, that actually does happen. Crazy coincidental shit like that, right in the nick of time, does happen, as it seemed to in McCarthy's life most of all, referring back to that interview again. There's that whole anecdote of, so poor he couldn't afford to buy toothpaste, and he goes to check the mail, and there's a toothpaste sample in there waiting for him. And, so basically in his line of thinking, things always seem to work out. And, as old as he is and as successful as he is in his life, that certainly may be the case. But there's no indication in this book that law of luck should apply to these characters on the road, save for the fact that they don't starve to death and aren't eaten by cannibals. They're not fortunate people. Also, the repetition wears on you in spite of its brevity. It felt like he basically wrote the same beautiful line about ash covering the landscape 300 times. It becomes monotonous, is what I'm saying. It's a pretty good line, though. So. Well, I'll beat the hell out of The Stand. Coffee time. For those of you who are new, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I take all of the names of the patrons on Patreon who have donated $5 or more per video to the show. I place their names in this mason jar. I pull out a name for every review, and whoever's name I pull out, they're sent a hard copy of the book that I'm reviewing, plus a bag of coffee roasted by yours truly. And the coffee is delicious. Right now I'm drinking a Myanmar that I roasted not too long ago. It's one of my favorites. If you would like to get in on that and help support the show, thank you very much. You can click on the link below or go to patreon.com/booksarebetterthanfood and donate $5 or more per video, and I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. For $1 more, you'll get access to the Patron-Only Reviews, the Discord channel, which has a whole bunch of cool people talking about cool books and various things, music and movies and all kinds of shit. Those people are awesome. And also you get access to the Better Than Friday newsletter, which I send out every Friday, which is just a list of 5 different things that I'm interested in. Could be books in the pipeline, music, films, articles, usually some combination thereof. It changes week to week. I'd say if you think you and I have similar taste, you'll get a lot of value out of that. So check it out. Thanks a bunch. Cool. Unfortunately, international shipping is not included. Thank you so much to all the patrons, and best of luck. Okay, here we go. Oscar S. Thanks a bunch, Oscar. Really appreciate it. You're going to receive The Road, plus a bag of delicious coffee from El Salvador that I roasted yesterday. The notes on that are extremely bright, green apple, and orange zest. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Please subscribe if you have not already and hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this. It definitely helps the algorithm, and always remember, bring a book wherever you go. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Ciao.